They don't want any more of Trump. How did they do in 2016? And then we did even better.
More Americans voted for Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump. Let that sink in. Donald Trump hosted a rally in New Hampshire after his Iowa caucus win and court dealings, where he had Vivek Ramaswamy, former candidate, he definitely ran, but in the way that so did Chris Christie and Asa Hutchinson. And after getting brutalized in Iowa, to absolutely nobody's surprise, he dropped out and instantly endorsed Trump. Here he is, unironically, almost getting it, while also landing so far from the truth.
It's not a war between black and white. It's not between Democrat and Republican, even in a deeper sense. It's between the permanent state and the everyday citizen. Between those of us who love the United States of America and a fringe minority who hates this country and what we stand for.
Now again, he's almost right here. It's not Republican versus Democrat, left versus right. It's democracy versus fascism. And he happens to be standing on the fascism side. He's talking about the deep state, of which Trump did absolutely nothing about, so good endorsement there, buddy, while standing next to one of the biggest authoritarians of this generation also, and the man who literally tried to steal democracy. Can't forget that. Hilariously though, right after Vivek gets off the stage, Trump sends a jab towards Nikki Haley and DeSantis' low polling numbers, even though both of them poll much higher than Vivek.
They put on Nikki Haley. She came in third, a distant third, a distant third. And they put on Ron DeSanctimonious, who came in a boring second. Now, we don't talk about him too much because over here he's polling at 4%. So
now Trump is the runaway favorite in New Hampshire. It's just funny. He's like, I won't bother you with DeSantis because he's polling 4%. But here's Vivek to give you a speech who's polling 2%. It just shows how far coddling Trump's balls will get you with him. Trump again here touting that he did so much better in 2020 than he did in 2016, despite losing by 7 million votes.
The Democrats are funding most of her campaign, and they're doing it because they want to run against, they don't want any more of Trump. How did they do in 2016? And then we did even better in 2020, a lot better. Millions and millions of more votes.
I just find it funny he continues to spread election misinformation before saying, yeah, the Democrats are the party of misinformation, and Trump lost the popular vote in 2016. I don't know why he even touts winning that election. More Americans voted for Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump. Let that sink in. Hillary is one of the most unvotable candidates ever, and she only lost on electoral college bullshit, and then he got blown out in 2020 by Joe Biden, another stale milquetoast candidate that Donald Trump couldn't even beat. Most of the cases of election interference were lost on evidentiary grounds, meaning they didn't have the evidence to substantiate their claims. The ones that weren't, most of those, the evidence was still examined and found there wasn't enough to substantiate a case. Only two didn't have this happen. In those two cases, one was a state trying to sue another state, which the courts found, hey, that's not something that can happen. Someone within that state has to sue the state. And the other one was someone trying to sue and say that Mike Pence did have the right to unilaterally overthrow the election, which, if you think that's valid, go ahead, but it's absolutely not. Let's end this with Trump's lies about his tax cuts that he constantly loves to also bring up.
I passed the largest tax cuts and regulation reforms in history. We did the largest regulation cuts in history. We did the biggest tax cuts by far in history.
Now, these tax cuts, of course, disproportionately benefited the rich. The top 1% saw a $49,000 decrease in taxes, while the bottom 60% only saw a $500 decrease. And you saw billionaires, the top richest 400 families in America, paying less in taxes than the bottom half of America. So when you hear Trump touting these huge tax cuts that he signed and they were so great and everybody loved them, don't forget that it's not for you. You're not who benefited from those. It was for him and his cronies, and it massively ballooned our deficit in doing so. Something that does affect you, however. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video, because the only way we become a society is together.